Welcome to the Fans of Fitness podcast, a voice for fitness, health, and wellness professionals. The National Personal Training Institute of Arizona.
Legit instructors teaching you.
No, enough of those bad reps. The good quality trainers that come out of the school.
Let's get into it.
Swole City's in the house. What's up, Greg?
How's it going?
Good, man.
Thanks.
Good to have you on the Fans of Fitness podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Brought to you by IdeoPro. What's been happening?
Nothing much, man. Just pretty excited to do this podcast. It's my second one ever.
Yeah?
Yeah. If I mess up,
A lot to talk about.
Take that consideration.
Well, you already messed up by wearing a Kansas City Chiefs beanie.
Hey, can't hate greatness, baby. You can't hate greatness after we get to the Super Bowl.
It's hard to, you're right.
I'd like to introduce the new GOAT.
Which is who?
Patrick Mahomes.
No,
It's about
Mahomes.
to be official this Sunday.
Well, if he pulls it off, I would say he is. Not the GOAT, but a GOAT.
Let's just say he's the next on deck.
Behind who?
Oh, the one and only Tom Brady.
Okay, we agree on that.
We got
we agree
bet.
on that. I'm San Francisco.
Yeah,
I got San Francisco on this one.
They got some work they got to do, but there's potential there.
They'll do it. There's
After.
potential.
Not this weekend, but
Maybe some other time.
yeah, down the road.
So how'd you become a Kansas City fans chief?
Oh man, I didn't even get a choice. This is like 3 generations of a Chiefs of family. It's like I didn't have a choice. I was like, I as mom not gonna walk. My mom and dad put a Chiefs jersey on me, a Chiefs hat, and Uncle was like, you're basically divorced from the family if you weren't a Chiefs fan,
Right.
And so that's how that. And then same way as my daughter, like she don't even know nothing other than the Chiefs and the Cougars, of course.
Yeah, Cougars.
She's still having a hard time.
Yeah.
Realizing that one's college and one's NFL, but
Right.
as long as she likes them both, that's all that matters to me.
I get how that happens, man. I was not forced, but from the moment I was born, I was wearing St. Louis Cardinal stuff. It's my dad, and then my dad's dad, because they're all from Missouri. So I didn't have a choice. So that's still my team today because all my pictures from my past, when I was a kid, I'm wearing a Cardinal hat or a Cardinal jersey or Cardinal something. So
Yeah, hey, it's the way to do it. That's good parenting, I think.
I think so. My daughter likes the Cardinals. She's got some Beanie Babies at my aunt center.
Yeah,
St. Louis Cardinal beanies. She has no idea what it is, but it's imprinting on her that she's going to be a Cardinal fan, and someday we're going to go back to St. Louis to see a game.
Yeah, so there you go.
Yeah. So I'm doing my job.
Yeah, he's like, you gotta steer them in the right direction now.
Yeah.
What happens between 18 and up? They're on your own now.
No, they're not. No, you're a Cardinal fan forever. If I have to be, you are too.
I know, that's right. I was like, yeah, you can come over, but
Take that jersey off.
yeah, take the jersey off.
Yeah. So how's business been at the gym?
Business has been going. So like I would say it probably slowed down a little bit because I just got to get my pro card for bodybuilding and got my I did that in classic physique, and so when you're prepping for that, your energy level is a little bit lower than normal. So
That's what I hear.
So I definitely kind of like didn't want to add any more new clients to my while I was doing that because I wanted to make sure I put all my focus on the show because you don't want to not win and go do it. So
Right, you got to put everything into those shows.
And so
are you trying to get your IFBB card or your pro card?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I did it back to back. That's why it was so quick. And so like I did the Whitney Jones out here in Mesa in was that October, and then like 6 weeks later I went and jumped out into California and went and did that show. I think it was out in was it Ventura? I can't remember exactly, but it was that was where I did the Masters USAs. And
Okay.
took the first place in my division and overall for the show.
Nice, man. So that's where you got your card.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All that hard work paid off.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? It's been about 10 years since I stepped on stage last time.
Yeah,
and that's when I won overall for the that was the Miles Production NPC. That was the Felicia show, the Felicia regional show, and so then after that I just stopped. I was like,
you just stopped for 10 years.
I stopped. I mean, because I wanted to I first got into bodybuilding is because I wanted to learn nutrition for personal training. I was just starting up in personal training in 2012, and so growing up in the background of my athletics and playing college sports at the Washington State University, and so like you spend your whole whole life trying to get bigger, and I was like, I never once know what it felt like to cut back or restrict food or anything like that. It was just like we had nothing but weight gainer and
right.
as much as you can drink.
Yeah, weight gainer 5,000.
Yeah, a pound of weight gainer, just keep going, and a couple of boosts. We call it was like boosts. It was like the only thing at the time we had that was like NCAA approved. I know that some other places had like Muscle Milk, the collegiate, when they made that out for like the drug testing, but. So I had to like figure out like what my clients was going through, because when I first started in personal training and I was like, okay, I want to train athletes. That's what my fitness manager, he asked me, well, what kind of clientele I want. I was like, I want all athletes. And he's like, okay, let's be realistic here, because it started at 24. He's like, you're going to train a lot more and kind of wide variety, and then you can kind of, build your clientele up. So I was like, everybody else getting was weight loss. And I was like,
athletes aren't coming in at 24-hour fitness.
Nah,
maybe one or two.
We had some good ones in there. We had Laguerre Blunt come through.
Oh, no kidding.
I trained him for a little bit when he was in the off season.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was pretty cool, I played against him too. That's how I kind of got a little,
In college?
Yeah, we played each other.
Who do you play for?
He played for Oregon.
Oh.
And so we kind of head to head.
That's a good program.
He made my highlight tape. I made his highlight tape a few times. But, at least I got that one in there.
Yeah.
And then he went and did some big things. But he's a real good guy, like in terms of like, regardless of what people had said to him in college, he's like, oh, he's a high dad, but he's a really, really respectful guy.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty cool to do that and kind of like we, catch up with each other. But like, yeah, so like, when I was starting to train personal training and like, I had a lot of weight loss clients, and I'll get them on a diet, kind of like textbooks and everything like that.
Right.
Kind of give them my feet wet. And I was like, I got to figure out, like I got to figure out like how to get over this adversity, like what they're feeling like. 'Cause I don't know what it feels like. So I was like,
yeah.
So I met up, I got linked up to my first nutritionist, and his name David Hill from PSP Nutrition, First Choice Prep. And I was like, I went to him first just to ask for like resource, like, hey, educate me, please. You know what I mean? In terms of like in a deeper setting, and then he's like, how about you just do a show? And I was like, yeah, all right, let's do that. And educate me as we do a show.
Right.
And so that's why I kind of picked up my education on that and everything. And then after I did it, and then I won the novice, and then I won like the second in the open, and then I was like, then we did another one a couple months later, and I won that one, and then like the classic natural or whatever, and then
right.
I was like, but we missed the overall. I was like, I want that big trophy right there. So the next following year, he's like, hey, let's try the Felicia again, and I took that one real serious. And I was like, and then I dialed down my clients so I could focus. 'Cause I was trying to do so much at once. I was working like 60 hours a week training, then I'm trying to train myself, and then so I went and then took that one. So then after I got the overall, I was like, okay, I'm done. You know what I mean? Because like after that show, clientele, took off, and I was like,
yeah,
there's no way I'm never gonna do that show. Yeah, so. And then after time went by, I just like, and then they came up with the classic physique. I was like, ooh, that's a cool category, because it's more my natural state,
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at that, and I saw the weight requirement. I'm like, all right, forget that.
What was the weight requirement?
At the time when it first came out, I think for my height, it was like 198. And I was like, the last time I was like 198, I think I was a freshman in high school. I was like, there ain't no way.
That's the limit?
Yeah. I was like,
man.
At the time. And then they slowly started kind of increasing the weight a little bit. And then to the point where it was like, I think it was like 2016, I was trying to actually come out and try to do one. But the lowest I can get was like 211. And I was already at 5%, 4% body fat. I couldn't get any lower.
Nothing left.
And I was like, we got to lose muscle. And I didn't make weight on that one. Then I just really, just kind of bypassed. And I was like, they increased the weight again a little bit. And I was like, I really need a challenger. Like I've been training for 11 years, and like if I don't have a goal, if I don't have a setting, that's where I start getting like either myself in trouble or I started. And so I was like, all right, let's jump up and do a show. It really started when my daughter was like, she was like looking at a video on YouTube, and like now kids, they watch the YouTube videos, and like, and so that's how they do it. And like this one girl, and she makes more than all of us combined, and all she does is play with toys and stuff and do a show with her little brother. And then one day my daughter kept on looking at me back, and I was just like, what? As I like hold on like a Bud Light lime, sipping on watching football, and she's like, I had my shirt off, and my daughter's like, we're like this. Like she's my little Aquarius. We're exactly the same. We're almost born, 2 weeks. So I understand what's going through her head. And she just kept on looking, but she wants to be polite. She's like, I'm like, what, babe? And she's like, Dad. I was like, what's up? She's like, why is his? And because during that little YouTube show, the dad popped in the scene, and he jumps in the show every once in a while, and he had his shirt off. He had like 6-pack, and all ripped up. And he's like, why is his stomach bumpy and yours is smooth? Now, I'm a very confident man. You know, I like to think so. And like, and there ain't nothing nobody can say that will ever bother me except for my daughter. And so when she said that, I put that down. I was like, all right, let's get to work. You know what I mean? So I was like, let's get back.
That's all you needed.
I was like, okay, my daughter doesn't think that I'm her hero. So kind of went back to work, and then I linked up with Jamal from the gym. You might know him, and he was actually my posing coach back then. And so we linked up and connected, and I was just like, I kind of told him what my goals are at and kind of tell him where my head is at. And I was like, I need to do something. You know, and then he's like, and he was all about it, and I was about it. So we got rolling, and we just went into it full speed, like, all hands on deck. I mean, he's a phenomenal coach. Like, he's just like, he's very different than my first coach. Actually, my first coach is his coach. But like, it's just, they're both pretty like, they're surgical with what they do. It's just that they have different styles. And so I think that is very important to, like, before I was just kind of stuck on one coach, because I like, when I get used to something, I want to stick with it.
Right.
And so like, but I knew Jamal already, so we already history, so I just want to work with him. And it's just like, he taught me so much more. Not like he's better or worse. Like not like any coach is better. No, it's just like he just comes at it from a different point of view.
Just has a different
so
methodology.
Like, because I learned so much from my first coach, and then like kind of getting coached by someone else, and I'm learning more from a different point of view, different, just more hands on deck and everything like that. And I was like, okay, I'm not used. It was a different style, and so we just went hands at it, and we just took care of business. And he's just like, listen, he's like, you got a chance to go get it if you want it. And I was like, let's go get it then, and so, and then the rest is just, we just took care of business. And
how long ago was that you decided to go after another show?
Oh man, so that was let me say, we actually came up, we took a picture the day we talked in the gym, and I think it might have been, we prepped for about 5 months, but the moment I came and talked to him, it might have been maybe like another 5 months before that. I was like, hey, let's get started like that. But, it was like, it was just like the season just ended. So it wasn't like, it was like more shows coming up. So we had some we had time to kind of like play. And so he just kind of gave me like, hey, just start eating clean. So I started just eating clean, slowly cutting out things, like cut out the alcohol, which that took some challenging and some, had to break that down. And then then I started cutting out like junk food, like going out, and I just started making my own. And then just like week by week. And then all of a sudden, then it's like, and then afterwards, then he starts putting me on a like actual meal plan, and I started following it. And then 5 months, we just kind of like, boom, boom, dialed down, take care of it. Like from the beginning of meal prep to pro card, about 5 months. And so we did it pretty fast.
Was that pretty recently, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you said you had a show, you had two. So you had, they're both NPCs, right?
Yeah.
So you had two kind of back-to-back, as we were talking about before we got started. Mm-hmm. And that was last year?
That was in November. Or no, sorry, that was in October. The Whitney Jones.
Whitney Jones.
Yeah, and that was I think it was like at the end of I think it was like October 17th or something like that.
Where'd you place on that one?
I took so I did a couple categories because like I said, we're feeling it out. I haven't been on stage in 10 years. He wasn't sure what I was going to look like on stage. I wasn't sure what I was going to look like on stage, and then I had so I was going for the classic physique, but I was like, he suggested I should do bodybuilding as well. And kind of see which look, because it's all about judging them, like what their perspective is and what they think and what they see. We don't know what I look like because I have no last year's progress pictures, nothing like that, because it's been 10 years. And so we entered that, and then I just said, since I'm over, so I was 36, I was like, let's enter a couple of masters, 35 and older, because I had that category. So I entered with the open, and I entered with 35 and over for both. And so I entered with four different categories, and ended up taking first on all of them except for open. I got second. And so
that's still pretty good, man.
So I got that in the bodybuilding, so in the heavyweight division. So took 3 first places and second in the open and for bodybuilding, and then I won best posing regime, which that was just me being myself on stage.
Is that the one that I saw a little while ago?
No, that wasn't that one. That was from my last show 10 years ago.
Oh,
but I was like,
all right,
like once again, I needed a routine, and I told Jamal, I don't have a routine yet. He's just kind of just do. He basically just told me, go do you.
Hey, Josh, let's pull up that routine from 10 years ago.
Yeah. So this one, I guess the whole story.
So where were we at before we begin
so
this?
how we got to this point right here is this is one of my first shows I ever done, and so with my first coach, and we got it done, and usually I guess guys are kind of prepared for this. They've been practicing, and I was like, hey. And he's like, you gotta have like a 60-second routine. I'm like, okay. And he kind of showed me some clips, on YouTube, like guys what they're doing, and everybody's so serious. Everybody's so strict, smiling.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, just very focused and like, man. And I'm just like,
You're like, that's not
I'm
me.
looking at that. I'm like, that's not me.
Yeah.
I am like laughing, goofy, like
In a cowboy hat.
I'm in LA. Like I like to be, that guy, that class clown. And so he said I could do whatever I want. It doesn't matter. We were just more focusing on hitting my mandatory poses. And then he's like, the routine's like, whatever. So I was like, I can do whatever. He's like, just do whatever. So I went. I grabbed the cowboy cap because I'm from Texas.
Yeah.
I had my girlfriend at the time, my fiance at the time.
Oh, look at that.
She's like, hey, use Little Big Town. I was like, okay, because I think she was listening to it. I was like, boom, I threw it on a flash drive, gave it to my coach. He had no idea. Oh, he sees me for the first time right now with a cowboy hat. He's like, I could just see his face like.
He didn't even know this was going to happen.
He was just like, I'd say do anything, not anything. So,
There goes a hat. Oh, boy.
yeah. And the crowd just erupted.
I bet.
It erupted because
Something different.
I had a couple of people from some of my clients on stage at the time, and a couple people from the gym, and everybody's just a couple of my neighbors from where I was living at, and they're all just like, it was pretty quiet until you did your thing, and I was like, good, because I was like, the silence, I get more nervous in silence than anything.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, but if I can make a couple of people laugh, that's my personality.
I think you did. You made me laugh, man.
So
Where was that at?
that was the Felicia. That was that was also downtown Mesa where we had that one. That was local.
That one was?
Yeah, that was a local show, and that was when the Miles production dude was doing his, and so like that's kind of how my very first show went, and everybody was like, I guess from the talk in the audience, people were like, he's not gonna win because of it. Like they're like, and then all of a sudden I took it and I won it. I was like, hey.
Did you do that at your last show too?
So then the next show after that, I did, I did it like a couple months later, and then for some reason I had like this Michael Jackson thing going on.
Okay.
And so I went, he was like, okay. He's like, I can do whatever still, right? He's like, yep. And so then I had like a Michael Jackson sparkling glove, I had some glasses, and I did the moonwalk and everything.
Nice.
I don't know if that one's on YouTube or not, but then I think the last one, I think I just gave like a little magic mic.
Magic mic.
A little magic
All
mic.
right.
Yes.
So everything's got a theme to it, man.
And then it started catching on, man.
Yeah.
So it got to the point where like every routine, people were kind of waiting for me to do something next. Like, what's the next
Greg's
thing?
next.
Yeah. It's and then so this last.
That's a way to stand out, though, man, because you're right. With the posing, it's a real serious. I've seen some where they put a little energy into it, and it's not the same as the rest,
Yeah.
Like, hey, this guy's having fun. Where the other ones just look like it's all business.
Yeah.
I think I would remember those who were having a little bit more fun than those who were all business.
Yeah, that's
you know.
As I said, like I said, it's a show. Like it doesn't. He said it doesn't count. It doesn't count against you. It's just for entertainment.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, entertainment. I
I mean,
can do
even
that.
Ronnie Coleman had some entertaining moments on stage.
Ronnie Coleman was flexible.
Yeah.
he could bust the splits.
Right. Yeah, I think I saw one of those videos.
Man.
I couldn't believe it.
300 pounds in the off season. He
like he does yoga.
Splits. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So how old is your daughter?
So my daughter just turned 10.
10.
She turned 10 2 weeks ago.
In Aquarius.
In Aquarius.
January.
Yep.
My daughter too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Man, you know what them Aquarius is, man.
I'm finding out, man.
Man, we're just that free spirit, you know? Like,
absolutely.
Free spirit. Let us creative. Let us don't you know what I mean? The most loyal people you can ever meet, but just don't cross us. Once you're out our circle, you're out the circle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting having a daughter.
Man, it is. I didn't think I could love anything more than dogs.
Same.
And man, my daughter came along. I'm like, man, I love that kid.
Yeah. Yeah, she makes fun of me too sometimes because I've developed a bit of a dad bod. I've been lazy the last year, and she pokes fun of me. And I think it was just a day before yesterday. We were in the kitchen, my wife, myself, and my daughter, and some conversation came up, and she just straight up said, "Mommy's stronger than you." And she's not wrong. My wife can deadlift more than I can. She can back squat
That's
more
not a
than me.
bad thing. That's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
I would love to have
But-
somebody that could work out who could lift more than I could.
But I looked at her like, I can't believe you just said that, even though you're right. And I'm like, this has to change. I have to be stronger than mommy,
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Two straight days in the gym now. I feel pretty accomplished.
Yeah.
Not ready for the stage by all means,
You know,
but hey,
like, mission accomplished, baby.
I've done it before. It's fun kind of starting from the beginning again because you know where your work is going to, it's going to pay off.
Yeah.
Unlike some people, they're they've been overweight or deconditioned all their life. They don't know where they can be after they start working out. Whereas you and I, we both fluctuated, and we just know it just takes a little bit of work, determination, and just cleaning up small things, and it'll be back. So
like muscle memory will come around.
So for clients, like your clients that fit that bill, they're deconditioned, overweight. How do you talk to them about, like, what's it going to look like in 6 months? What's it going to look like in 12 months?
What's it like with me? Is like, I just like to. I like to approach it the same way as like somebody was gonna like tell me about something like that I want to get into. Like when I first started playing football, and the varsity. This is in 8th grade, and the varsity linebackers coach came and talked to me. Everyone was afraid of him. He was all business, and he was just like, "Hey," and I was like kind of goofing around in class, getting in being in class, I'm getting in trouble, and he's just like, "Listen." He like took me outside the class, and I was like, oh, you know what I mean? He's like, because you don't mess with this guy, Coach Farrell. And he's just like, why, you're screwed, you're effing up. Look at your future. Look what you could be. Look at your body. And I was like, I'm looking at my body like, what? You looking at? I don't see nothing special. Yeah. And he's just like, and the way he planned and painted the picture of my vision of where I could go, a small town, because I finished high school in Texas, but I'm originally from Bartlesville, Oklahoma, which is even a smaller town, in the middle, those plains and rolling hills, and he painted this vision of where I could go. He's like, this is your ticket out here. And as he said, he painted a vision of me starting in varsity. He painted the vision of me going to college. He painted the vision of me playing pro. He said a vision of me changing my entire family timeline. He painted this whole from the beginning to end. And so because of that talk, he told me that what really, I had dreams of going to play in the NFL because my brother played pro. And I had these like, but I didn't see it. I just said it, I want to play pro. But it was my coach who painted that picture from beginning to end. And sure enough, it came true. And so, I just take my own personal life experiences and what I learned, and I try to apply it the same way I parent, the same way I coach. And so when I get a new client who's like, who's just now starting into the fitness industry or changing lifestyle, I like to paint a picture from the very beginning to all the way to the end. And now, whether they believe me or not, or whether they see the vision that I can see for them, and I'm not feeding them smoke, I mean? I was like, it's going to take some work here and here. Or if I see like characteristics like, that's just, you got an engine on you. Like that's usually that's half the battle. You know what I mean? I would just paint a realistic vision of where they can be if you give it absolute effort, if you give it absolute commitment, if you give it absolute like belief, this can happen. You know what I mean? So that's what I like to do because it worked on me, so I have to work on other people. And
man, what a blessing to have a coach like that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he was
right at the right time too.
Everybody didn't like him, and then like I always tend to do well with people who everybody like don't like or they're misunderstood.
Right.
That's as Aquarius is we're all misunderstood. Don't quite get us, but people who are like like everybody can say something about that person, but like that was probably the best coach I ever had. Yeah. And then followed up in college, there was another coach, Leon Burnett. He was also my position coach. Yeah, and everybody on the team would like to talk about him because he's just hard ass. And I mean, I learned more from that man because like they don't play around. They don't beat around the bush. They give it to you straight. And sometimes you need a hard ass.
You do.
And so as a coach, as a trainer, to some clients, sometimes you got to be a hard ass because that might be the best thing you might ever do for them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's what they need.
Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, painting that vision is really important. It's not just short term. One of the things that I would do as a coach is I would say, we'd sit down maybe the first day on fitness orientation. You and I both went to 24-hour fitness, so we would have that 1 hour fitness orientation. I'd like to try to first we'd goal set, of course, right? Like, what are your goals, injuries, hobbies? What's your nutrition like? All that stuff. And after that picture's been painted, I'm like, all right, I want you to take a second and visualize you reaching your goals. Just take a second and just think about it. Everything you've told me, think about achieving it. Because sometimes they don't think about that. They're like, these are my goals, but they don't really think about what that would feel like.
Yeah.
So I'm like, think about that. You want to lose 40 pounds, you're 220 now or whatever, and you want to clean up your eating, you want to have more energy, you want to have more time for your kids, you want to work on your stress levels, you want to work on all these things. Now picture all that being done. Yeah. Just think about it. Just sit on, just marinate in that thought for a second.
Smell the moment.
Just smell it.
Feel the moment.
It can happen. It can happen, but it's going to take you. It's going to take effort on your part to get there. So I like to do, like you were just saying, visualize not just short-term goals. Visualize what it's going to look like once you achieve these goals and how you're going to feel and how it's going to change your life. Yeah. So it could be heavy moments, man, but oftentimes it's something you don't think about. Like you've got all these goals. Now think about all of them coming and aligning and happening.
Yeah,
it's powerful.
It's very powerful. That vibration. It's like I'm gonna be over here like Mrs. Dance. Mrs. Dance is over. What's her name?
Who?
It was Swan Dance.
Oh,
I'm about to get deep. I'm about to be like, I probably shouldn't have said that. Though.
It's fine.
But I was just like, in terms of like it, but like you're like you have to visualize. You have to manifest. I'm all about manifesting.
Right.
Like, it's like if I didn't, I was like my other page, I temporarily shut it off so I can focus on business. But I post a lot about manifesting, and so like before I did that last show, before I even started the Whitney Jones show, I had this trophy case, and I have all my football trophies from like all my awards from college, beginning of college all the way to now, and all my bodybuilding trophies. But I knew what the end goal was, and so I saved a spot for the overall trophy at nationals, and then I saved a spot for a pro card. And I left it. I put I got this little like whiteboard I got from like little Dollar General store. It's like it's a whiteboard on one side and a chalkboard on the other. And I put reserved for overall men's classic physique 2023, and I sat it there, and it's been sat there for weeks or months, and then I just like, and then when I got home that night, because I had to take off, like I had to fly straight, I had to drive straight back with my dad from California, and I went to the trophy case, and like I was like, I gotta get this, record me. And I was like, I took that right off the reserve, and I put it up there, and I was like, I told you manifestation, but manifestation, like it's like they're basically like you gotta like, in order for it to come true, in order to attract what you want, you like saying is one thing, but like I said, like when my coach told me, and when we tell a client, you have to like imagine it, what it feels like. What's your stomach feeling like right now? What does it feel like to be that 60 pounds, and you want to go run with your kids, but you can't make it, and then you want to go hiking with your friends, but they have to keep they stop inviting you because they have to keep waiting on you. Then when they're tired, imagine what's gonna feel like with 60 pounds off now. And you're keeping up with them. You're holding conversations. Y'all just talking about y'all's day. Yep. You're able to do it without having a panic or breathing attack. And so it's just like you really have to visualize it and make it come. Like it's like you want $1 million. If you really want $1 million, visualize what you're gonna have $1 million, right? You'll visualize what it's gonna feel like.
Right.
What are you gonna buy? Who are you gonna help? And you're like,
I'm keeping space in my bank account for that $1 million.
Yeah. You already opened a special account. You already,
I'm gonna get a whiteboard.
You already put. Maybe you have a dream of, I don't know. You wanna freaking buy a boat. I don't know. Hey, I'm gonna put a registration down for this boat. You know what I mean? Save me more. You're already pre-ordering it already, right? Yeah. Or whatever the case may be. But
that's what good coaches do, man. You already had one when you were in 8th grade, and as coaches ourselves, we got to do the same thing for our clients and help them visualize what it's going to look like down the road.
Absolutely.
And of course they have to trust you, and that comes with your knowledge and who you are as a person, and the relatability and the relationship that you build with that client. There's so many layers to being a good coach.
Yeah.
And a lot of it isn't about what you know, it's who you are.
Yeah.
Of course, education is massively huge. If they don't get results, then they're going to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
And if they don't get results, then maybe they talk bad about you, even though it may not have been your fault. Maybe they're not following the program. But the more you know, the more relatable you are, I think the better in this industry. So
I mean, they say talent can take you places that your character can't hold you. You know what I mean? So it's like, you talented, you can get places being talented, but but what's your overall morals? What's your character? Can it keep you there? You know
right.
what I mean? So,
do you care is the big one.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
is a client to you just a paycheck, or do you truly care about that person? Do you truly care about their goals and where they want to go? I mean,
100,000%.
And so,
and in this industry, you see both, depending on where you go. Like you go into the Gym Mesa, where we're both at, you don't see paycheck trainers often there. What you see is people that care and have good knowledge base, and they want to see their clients improve. Whereas other places like some commercial box gyms, it's just a stepping stone, and it's also just something to do. It's a part-time job, and they're not fully committed like some coaches are.
They're not engaged.
Not engaged. We can go on and on.
We don't got to name any names, but we both go. We can name some names, but we're not.
Yeah. We both started off at 24-hour fitness, which I thought was a great stepping stone. It was. I got out of the program at National Personal Training Institute, Portland. That's where I went. Then I went straight to 24-hour fitness. And I think I went there when I just graduated. I think I was 36 or 37. I don't remember which. And I'm like, man, am I too old for this? I walked in. Met some of the other trainers. I'm like, I am by far the oldest person in here. I'm like, maybe I missed the boat on this. I should have maybe done this maybe a dozen years ago instead of now. But it turned out to be a good thing because I was more relatable to more people that wanted to help because I was older, more wise. I wasn't staring at my phone. I wasn't staring at the clock. I wasn't talking to other people while they're on the clock with me. This is the stuff that I noticed.
An older gentleman or somebody, come in. They like, sometimes you don't want to listen. You don't listen to someone who doesn't have a mortgage payment yet. Maybe you want to listen to somebody who has has gone through some
more
little bit
relatable.
Of life. Yeah, we can relate. We can talk. I don't So it's like I said, you're never too young. You're never too old.
Yeah.
And like I was one of the younger guys. I guess I started because I was like probably like 25 when I first started, maybe. And now I feel like I'm one of the older guys at DG, like one of the older trainers there. Everyone's younger, but like I say, I'm in the same boat. Like that's why I kind of feel now. Like, but it's different clientels relate to different people,
right?
But
I was just watching a video this morning, and the guy that has the world record for the strongest grip is 73 years old.
Did he just get that record?
Like currently, right?
Yeah.
Now? Oh dang!
73 years time, man.
And he's and they say that like. Your grip strength, you can continue to build your grip strength. It's one of the things that no matter how old you are, it continues if you continue to work on it.
That takes grown man strength.
Thought that was pretty interesting.
Level. Like, that's
right.
Imagine shaking his hand.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
How you doing, son?
You wouldn't expect that, right?
Like, and then you try to come back because angle it. Just, like, oh man.
You would actually back off on the pressure because he's an older fella, and then all of a sudden
you just crush
your hands
Can't
crushed.
break your hand.
Like I was not expecting that, sir.
At that point, it's already too late. You're like, he got me.
That's interesting.
Man.
But no, that was a great stepping stone for me. And I think in many ways it was the right decision at that moment because even getting out of the school, I was prepared. I was educated, highly educated, and I'm like, I'm not going to go independent. I think what I want to do is get my feet wet and being in front of as many clients as I possibly can, and that's what 24 did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was there for 14 months. The plan was 6, and then I was going to go independent, but I ended up being there for 14 months, and it was just more relationships and more reps that I got, and it was just sharpening the sword until I decided to go independent.
Oh, yeah.
And at that point, it was full takeoff, man. It was, I was ready.
Yeah.
I was ready because of that practice. Now, I mean, 24, I don't know how it was for you. What years were you there?
So I got there, I think I first started. So I moved in, I first moved to Arizona in 2012. And then I applied for 24 Fitness while I was out in Washington because I just hung up my football pads. I just retired. I was telling my fiance at the time, my ex-fiance, and she's my daughter's mother, and so I had to clear that out just to make sure, but she was kind of putting her career on kind of a pause because I was just bouncing around from team to team, and I was playing Canadian League, and I'm playing Arena League, and here, and so like in order to go farther in her career, she had to be be able to move, and so. And where she kind of have a say in so like, but I wasn't sure where I was gonna be at. And so when I hung up, I was like, "You do your thing, and I will follow you." And so it brought us to Arizona because we're trying to get back to. She wanted to get out of the cold. I wanted to get back closer to home, and so close we got is Arizona. And so I applied to a couple 24-hour fitness places around here, and the one on Baseline and Dobson, and the one on Rio Salado and Dobson. So I went to the wrong one, and I walked up, and then. One of the best mentors I ever had was he's my fitness manager. His name's Alex, and I went to the wrong location. I was like, I applied, and I was just trying to follow up with my application. Because I was all in college. They always tell you about when they try and get you ready for work, make sure you call, follow up.
Right.
So I didn't even know that was That's you follow that in the training too.
Yeah.
It's all about that follow up. And he said, oh yeah, I was looking at it. Come here, let's go. And he took me over like that. And I was like, I just got fresh. So I'm pretty well built and feeling good. And just this young, clueless guy, applying for my first job ever.
Right.
And so, and then later on finding out, he's like, okay, you're hired. But, I was studying for the ACE. And so I wasn't done with that yet. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you can work here. And he's like, I found out later that I was at the wrong spot. He lied. He just saw me. He's like, yeah, I want you on my team. And he's just like, he kind of made up this whole thing. He's like acting like he's looking at my resume. Yeah. So tell me about yourself. And I was just like, he was just looking at a blank sheet.
He stole you from the other location.
He stole me from the other location. And so we had a big joke about that a while back. But the way I started, and he's like, and I was like, he's like, it's like we're not hiring trainers not yet, right now because we're pretty loaded up. But and so I was like, well, can I work front desk? I just wanted to be in the facilities. I was like, I worked that front desk, and I worked a couple locations, but I mostly stayed. I want to work the nights, work the days, just so I can already get, one, as I like to talk to people. So I just need to put my face in front of people. So when I do become a trainer, at least, I might have like a client or two.
Yeah.
And I would just say hi and bye and learn people's names. And by the time I first started, or my first, then 24 days bring that Nesta.
Yes.
Did they have that back when you
Yep,
had
they
it?
had it when I was there
So
too.
they run like that little weekend course, whatever like that, to get like certified quickly. You're there all day long. Or I think it's like 5 days. I don't know what it is, but I was like, ooh, let me just jump and do this one, and 24 actually, they reimburse you and pay you for
they're
it.
partners with Nesta.
So I jumped in there. And and so like I kind of already like knew a great deal of stuff. I've been studying for ZACE, and I went that boom, and then I could start training. But I was like, at least I can get started, and I could finish my other one. And because I was talking to everybody, and everybody knew, and I knew them by name, and I could make training. Once I put that, that personal trainer uniform, personal trainer back, they're like, oh, yeah, I didn't know you was a trainer. And so it already built, stacked me with 10 clients. They're like, oh yeah, I work with you. And so that was a good decision, to do, because like, you're working for pennies, but all of a sudden that turned around. It was a good investment, because it's like, now starting off a new trainer is like, people already know you, because you're already there. So, that's how I kind of got started up with my career. And then afterwards, it was just like learning in like the technical side, or like, some stuff that, it takes more like experience,
or like the scientific side, training,
like this, dropping a cell, like presenting this. I was like, this is me. Like, okay, do I really want to charge somebody? Is somebody gonna pay $2,700 for to work with me? Like, I don't know. Like, that's a lot of money. That when you're trying to, you're broke now. You're like, I don't know, it's a lot of money. And so like what Zig Ziglar says, you got to be a product of your product. You got to, what I mean?
Well, we are the product.
Yeah, like there's this book that I love, and I probably I just listened to it, yesterday. It's like a little 8-hour audio book.
What is it?
It's The Secrets of Closing Sale by Zig Ziglar.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that one.
And that was the first book my mentor had told me to check out.
Right.
And I checked it out, and then after I did that, it quickly turned my business over, because it's like I realized it's like I needed to know what it felt like, kind of like with the nutrition part, in terms of like I need to experience it myself. I was like, I need to buy. So I will buy a session, or buy from another trainer, just because, and then let them run it through me. But like I say, if I won't buy from a trainer, how can a client buy you? So you have to be a product of the product. So in Zig Ziglar, in the story, he says he's trying to help a guy that's struggling in sales, and they're in the cookware business. And Ziglar was one of the best salesmen of all time, and he was one of the top level all over the world. And he was trying to help this guy out, and he's like, let me just kind of just watch what you do for a little bit, kind of, seeing what he's doing, going on a few business calls, going on a few business meetings. And then he gets to his house, and he says, I see what your problem is. And he's like, what's that? He's like, why you just don't take this serious? He's like, I'm doing everything. I ain't sold my car and all that. He's saying he's doing everything he can do. He's like, but you don't even got a set of our own product in your house. You got the competitors kind. And he's like, oh, that don't mean nothing. He's like, no. He's like, that's the problem right there. He's like, you don't truly believe in this company, because you got a competitor's product. And you need to have our product in your kitchen. How are you supposed to sell something else if you don't use it yourself? And that's what kind of like, what clicked with me is like, you got to, so I, getting up and running and like learning the technical side of training when I first started off is that, I started training, working with other trainers, and I started working with everybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I want to, because I learned something. Even though I thought like I know, I think I know quite a deal. I've been lifting weights more than this trainer. And it ain't about that. It's just about like a different approach. Just like with my two coaches for my prep for bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. Both are very, very, very brilliant men, but two different styles. And so you learn something else. And so in this business, in any fitness industry, this whole lifestyle, you never stop learning, even as trainers.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I think I was counseling with you the other day, and I was like, oh, I had the aha moment. I was like, you never stop learning. The moment you stop educating yourself, or you think you know it all, that's whenever life is gonna, it's gonna nosedive on you real quick. Like you're always gonna be a student of the game. Yep. And you never stop getting better until you die. And that's with everything, but definitely in this business for sure. And so, me buying sessions from other people gave me that confidence. We're like, I know it's worth it, because I know everything about working out. I've been working out, since I was 13 years old. And this guy just taught me something. And this girl just showed me something new. And this girl just told me, and I was like, wow. And so then that's when the sales started coming in. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? Because it's like, I believe in the product. Before I was like, I don't know if I'll pay this much for personal training. You know, I'm looking at these prices too. But then it made sense now. I was like, yes, we got so much more to teach you. People, and it's good because definitely for like new client or new trainers, you know, you're gonna set your prices, set your worth. You know what I mean? Don't look at it as, okay, I'm gonna down my prices cheaper than everybody else and everybody's gonna work with me. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Like people buy. I mean, you know, if a prospect doesn't buy from you, it's not that you know they don't want it. It's just, you know, you didn't sell them on what they want.
Right.
You're not a solution to the problem, or you didn't explain it enough. Or it's like, you know, they just didn't buy you. You know what I mean? And so, and it's your job to, like, you know, I mean, if you bring value to them, they're gonna pay because you're a solution to their problem. And so that's what made me believe is like, okay. And so just as a, you know, as a new trainer, you know, you always want to make sure that you can fix their problem. You know what I mean? And make sure that you become value into their life.
Well, if they're sitting in front of you, they're looking for help. Now it's up to you to have the solutions, right? Like you were just saying. And I remember at 24, we did role playing in class when I was at MPTI in Portland. So uncomfortable, man. But then when I got to 24, my first fitness manager name was Derek Gleason. Much like you, I needed that person at that time. He'd been in the industry for a long time. He also played college football, as I remember. And he taught me some things that I incorporated, and there's some things that he taught me that I was just like, I'm not doing that. But he taught me how to create like an organic fitness orientation where it's not sterile with like, here, fill this stuff out and we'll talk about it. Yeah. We're going to fill this stuff out as we're talking about it. So that's what I teach the class. There's several different ways to do that. That's my favorite way. And 99% of the students that go through our program here in Mesa, they love it because it is organic and they practice that in front of each other. They'll do goal setting like live, like, hey, what are your goals? And as they start talking about goals, they're writing it down. And oftentimes that conversation, that organic conversation segues into, well, but my nutrition's this. And then you go to the other part and you start writing nutrition. And it's just a talk like we're having. And before you know it, you've got everything filled out. Yeah. You know, and it's not like going to a dentist where you get this form that the dentist doesn't even look at.
Yeah, it's never even, it's so uncomfortable too. You're just like, you know, that's not the way you want to start off a presentation or a fitness orientation. You know, but like, let's talk. We're just here. Yeah. I mean, like I get, you know, and because 20, we were talking about 24 taught me so much, and that was just, you know, just a tiny piece of what I learned from 24, but. And then, like I said, experience is always based in. But like I got, you know, like there's 9 ways to skin a cat, and so like there's 9 ways to kind of do your presentation. And like, and like that writing is such a powerful one because it's like when you writing instead of just having them fill it out, no, let them talk freely, just jot down,
listen,
and
you got to listen as a coach
because now you could put little notes down and like, oh, you know, I see red flag, but I'm not going. Let them keep talking. Red flag, you know, I'm just marking all these things where, okay, these objections, these roadblocks we're going to run into, these little bit of adversity. Okay, you know what I mean? It's just. You want to ask everything, and I think that's one thing that the biggest, most powerful thing that I learned in terms of like when I learned growing up is you got to ask a lot of questions. Yeah, never stop asking questions.
Right,
and you know, I mean, and if the presentation they don't buy from you, didn't ask enough questions. You know, because if you ask the right questions, not even the right questions, if you ask the right questions, but if you ask enough questions, you'll learn about. You know, you learn about people's financial. You know, how's your financial situation? You know what I mean? In terms of like not to be like all weird, like a used car salesman. Just more of like, you know, when I sit down with a client, they're like so you know, so how's your finances? And not because I'm like wondering how much big your pocketbook is. More like I want to know where your stress levels is at. I want to know like what can I get you? Like what kind of supplements how much supplements can I throw on you to like how many days a week I can kind of plan to train you. How many, you know, what are you willing to do? Like, okay, if you're struggling with food and if you can't cook, okay, I got it. We got food services, you know, provided at the gym, right. and that's gonna cost some money, you know, a little bit. Or like, okay, you having some back issues and stuff like that. Okay, we got a guy in the back, or we got to go over here who works with the nervous system. We got a guy over here, he works out knots. You know what I mean? I'm pre-planning any type of objections that I can help you, because if I can't help you, I'm gonna make sure I connect you to the right person, and I need to know how much you make. And so, like in terms of you get a lot of value in terms of like asking, like, okay, how are finances? Because you know, like what we know as professionals, like more on the females, is like if you're stressed out a lot, you know, those hormones get kicked in. You know, those hormones start kicking in. It messes up with a lot of things. It messes up with your weight loss progress. Yep. It messes up. You know what I mean? Like, hey, do you have support at home? You know what I mean? Are you married? Are you together? Do they support what you're doing? Do they like what you're doing? You know, like, do I need to give you extra motivation, or the person who you live with?
Yeah,
or
do you have support?
You have kids? Do you like? Are you making? Because when you're making, well, yes, we know as parents, you make your kids food, but if you're in prep, you can't eat the same thing. I want some of those dino chicken nuggets, but I can't. But so kind of like you ask enough questions, and it will give you it'll get the answer to every objection. But it also helps you provide service for them, because it will help them. You can help plan an attack, but you got to ask enough questions. You got to know, how far away do you live? Okay, so then when it comes down to it, it's like, okay, I know how much. Or I know, like, finances is not an issue, or finances is an issue. Okay, all right. So this is, I know I need to break it down. We're going to break this down. We're going we're going half payments at a time, or we'll go weekly payments at a time. Whatever what best, whatever fits you. Is it price or is it cost? Is it price as a whole, or is it price per session? Those are big things to know. Is you live far away? Oh, you live an hour away. Oh, but work is only 20 minutes away. Okay, so we're going to be planning after work sessions probably, or pre-work sessions before work. So all these things, if you ask the right questions, is I think it's the best way to, like, for your client to be able to provide a service for them.
No, you're absolutely right. That's what we do in classes. We try to get all that information. I think right now we're heading into week 7 on Monday. We've been doing these practice fitness orientations where we're asking goals, doing goal setting, and asking these extra questions. So, like, some of the questions, and you're 100% right when it comes to asking all the questions, because you want to paint a picture. You want to get that picture of where this person's at in a lot of different areas instead of just what's your goal. Because if somebody says, "Oh my," I usually. And this was created from my fitness manager in the 24 in Portland. He's like, just do this little graph. Just a cross. It's just a plus sign.
I know the cross.
And then did you do that too?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I wonder if Derek got that from 24, because when he showed me that, I'm like, I'm using this for now on.
Oh yeah.
But I did start to, as I did this with clients, I'm like, hey, these are questions that I'm forgetting to ask her. They aren't just appearing on the paper, because they're not talking about sleep.
Yeah.
Be like, how many hours of sleep do you get a night? What's your hydration like? How many ounces do you think you get a day? In job, what's your job? Because if it's a repetitive motion type of job, then you can expect some muscle imbalances. If they sit all day, you're going to have some muscle imbalances.
Oh, those rumboys.
Yeah,
teachers,
glutes, et cetera, shoulders. So that paints a picture for you too. And then asking questions like, supplements. What's your supplementation look like? How many days a week could you work out, or can you allocate to working out? So just painting a picture towards the end when, we are the product. We do have a specialized education where we can help people that they're not going to get the help on the line. A lot of people go online looking for help, and some of these programs are okay, but are they for you?
Yeah.
Are they for your movement imbalances? Are they for muscular imbalances, for injuries, and et cetera, et cetera?
One size fit all.
Right.
Like,
yeah. But now you can get it down to where, like, at the end of the session, like, I know exactly what you need. And as we're talking, like, these little, you ever seen those cartoons where that bubble appears? I'm grabbing these bubbles as they appear. I'm like putting them into my paper and write notes. I'm like, okay, this is what this person needs. This person needs this. Maybe I've got a referral to something that I can't do that you need help with. Maybe I'll set you guys up. Maybe an acupuncturist or LMT or chiropractor, something like that. I'm not a chiropractor. I can help you with muscle imbalances, but maybe sometimes you need some relief and some mobility through some joints or whatnot. But at the end, it's all there, and now it's the sale. That's where a lot of people really they get in their own way at the sales, because they're afraid of sales. Well, if you've done everything right in that hour and a half, sometimes they go even longer, but if you've done everything right, then it shouldn't be what people think sales is, and they think of like used car salesmen.
Yeah,
right?
it's like,
that's not what it's like.
Yeah.
At the end, and this goes over reps, right? The more reps you get, the easier it is, and you're like, your delivery's better. You gain their trust. They're like, hey, this person actually cares. And at the end, you're like, hey, so here's the plan that I would put in place for you. You said you have, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday available at 5:30, 6:30. I just so happen to have, open spaces there. Why don't we start next week?
Open spaces there. Let's do it after work. And you know what? And boom. And then, if you don't cook, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I love about 24. It's just because you can make you can make mistakes. Because there's so many people, there's traffic so flowing. You can repetition. Nothing's going to educate you, as much as that experience right there. You know, what I mean? Applying what you learned and then apply it to the field. You know what I mean? Just rep it. And I got like, you know, like in football, it's like, okay, I wasn't the biggest, I wasn't the strongest, I wasn't the fastest, definitely wasn't the smartest, but you know, like I said, when my coach, you know, Coach Farrell, he's like, you know, why you dicking around? He's just like, you know, and I think I told you earlier, I was like, if you're gonna mess up, like before this podcast, like I was like, you know, I'm not a good talker, I'm not a good speaker, but it's just like, you know, but I told you, I was like, well, my coach always said, if you're gonna mess up full speed. So it's the same. It's like, if you're gonna do this business, go out there, get as many, like, do as many free workouts as possible. Not just because it ain't a waste of your time. Because every time you take a new potential client, that's a potential signing. That's a potential revenue. But it's reps. It's reps. Okay, so what this person said, you know, and maybe they didn't buy from you or they didn't purchase, you know, services from you, but you can kind of like review of like, what did I go wrong? Because, you know, they wanted help. Yeah. It wasn't about the really money. You know, they mentioned it at the beginning, or, you know, they said it because maybe I couldn't ask enough questions. I don't know if it was about money or not, but if you ask the right questions, you'll know that. Right. Or, you know, it wasn't the distance, you know, because they live right around the block, or did I? You know, did I ask them where they live at? You know, is it, you know, he's like, hey, I gotta go home. I gotta ask my wife. But you know, if you ask the right questions, you know that his wife supported him. He wants him to. His wife's the one man who come here. You know, so you know, and then just it goes on and on. You start learning. You're like, oh, okay, and then rep after rep, and then pretty soon, you know, just like riding a bike, you're gonna fall a couple times, or a lot of times, but then eventually you're gonna start riding, coasting on your own, and you know, and just asking the right questions. Asking the right questions should fix any solution. You know, you shouldn't feel like it. You know, it should just sell itself because you're a solution to that problem. Yeah. You know,
like I got a story that I tell everybody in class, and that's when I went to 24-hour fitness, my first sale. You remember your first sale?
I remember my first sale. But my first sale solo, because I used to break it all down, and then I had to go get my manager to come. Okay, and he would finish the closing, you know, because I was just getting so nervous. But
mine was it was like the second day I started. He's like, Derek's like, you gotta walk the floor. I'm like, okay, I'll walk around. He's like, no, you got to talk to people. I'm like, yeah, but Derek, everybody's got headphones in. He's like, I don't care. Do this. I remember the first time I did that, I walked up the stairs. We had the weights on top and the cardio on the bottom. I walked up and I saw this guy that I'd already seen the previous day. And us being in this industry, we look at, when I go to a gym, I look at trainers first, and I'm always critiquing. I'm like, why are you doing that with that 60-year-old?
I do it too. I think we all do it.
That is, you're gonna blow out his knee, and I'm just thinking education, man. You know, but also when I just lost my train of thought because I do that all the time. I just had a thought.
I'm sure I did it. I did it like 2 or 3 times on there.
Oh, I know.
And I was just like, I hope no one caught that because I just ADD.
I do it all the time. There was a guy that was upstairs. He was doing a plank, and there was some stuff wrong with it. He was doing a side plank, and I walked up. I made eye contact with him, and then I looked away, and I made eye contact with him again. He's got his headphones in, and I did that, and he just shook his head no. Didn't even take his headphones out. Just shook his head no, and I'm like, okay, but that is not the way I'm going to do this.
But it happens though. You know, you know, you just gotta like that book, Go for the No, baby. Yeah. You know, like every day. Have you read that book before?
No.
It's an awesome book. Matter of fact, I need to go back and recap. But it's just like what it says, like, you know, man. You know, sometimes people got to go like, okay, I'm gonna go get 5. I'm gonna go find 5 potential clients, or anything, right? I'm gonna go get 5 sales. No, you should be like, I'm not gonna stop until I get 200 no's. You know what I mean? Right. Because out of those 2, if I try to go get 200 no's, I'm at least going to get like maybe 20 or 30 yeses out of it. Or maybe, right? You get better as you go. But in terms of like, and as you first start off, trying to make that first sale, it was just no. And then it was like, okay, I'm going to get and then my manager's like, come get me. And then I'll watch what he do. But now I'm learning, like, oh, okay. You know, because at first I was like, I got no way. He has this issue with his knee, and you know, he shouldn't be working out. Which I mean, like, but my manager coming, he's like, that's even more reason why you should. And then he's like, you're right. Credit card. I'm like, oh, I thought that was I thought that was a no chancer. Like, you know, but it's just like, and then I was like, but it is right. Like, it's not like you're lying. Like, this is even more reason. Because you're going to go out there and you're going to hurt yourself. Yeah. With improper form, with like you're doing too much weight, you're trying to progress too fast or start, you're not, not doing rehabilitation. You're not, it's like, this is even more. And I was like, he's not lying. You're actually right. But it's just, I'm using that excuse to, to like show sympathy, and I need to show empathy. Like I need to take, okay, I get you. I get what you're saying, but this is what you need. And as like I said, it's about just repping and learning and understanding. And I just lost my chance.
It just goes.
I forgot what I was talking about.
I'll
In the
pick
first
up
place.
from there. It just goes back to reps, man. You just get better with reps, and it's the same thing with sales. I went 3 for 3 my first 3 sales at 24, and I was like, this is too easy, man. But that first one, I was like, are you serious? You trust me? You're paying. I'm getting part of this. 24 is getting another, but I remember taking that card the first time. I was like shaking.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe it. This is actually happening. It was like it was a 3-pack for I think $129 special, as I recall. We did those periodically.
Good old 3-packs.
And then the same day, a couple hours later, I had another fitness orientation that was put on my calendar from up front. That same thing, another 3-pack, and I'm like, man, this is too easy. And then next day, and I think that was
those 3-packs turn into those 3-packs turn into those 15, 20 packs real quick. Those 24 packs.
Well, the third one, the next day was a 10-pack, and I'm like, this is amazing. Then I went like 0 for 20 after that. I didn't do anything different. At least I didn't think I did. So I was starting to question myself. Like I've got the education to help you.
Yeah.
And the people who were saying no, it wasn't financial, I don't think, because if they're sitting in front of you, they want the help. It's not like you're forcing them to sit there. They're there because they're like, I want to talk to a trainer.
They wouldn't waste their own time.
No. But I mean, aside the people that are just fishing for information that don't even plan, and you can figure that out pretty quickly in those situations. You're like, all right, you're just fishing for information. Cool. If you just want me to help you with some form on deadlifts or back squats, I got you. Or bench, whatever. I got an hour, I'm getting paid, so let's go. But outside of that, hey, this person's sitting here because they want help. Now, are you the right person for them? So I don't know what I did wrong, but I started to question myself, every time I got a no. And a lot of it came down to what you were just saying, I didn't want to sound like I'm promising the world, because as a coach, you don't want to lie about the potential results they can get. You want to be truthful and go, hey, you want to lose 80 pounds in 2 weeks? Not going to happen. You got to show them the numbers. Like this is a realistic number in this amount of time.
Yeah.
So don't think there's a magic pill or magic movements for this. I'm not that person that can just
be realistic.
Yeah. So I want to lay it on that. Like if you want to lose 40 pounds, and I'm going to say, on average a month, 4 to 5 pounds. That's a sustainable amount. Now let's do the math on that. This is how long it's going to take you to lose 40 pounds. So I want them to see it. Instead of just going, you've 40 pounds in 2 weeks, I can do that. I'm your guy. I can't do that. I've got too much integrity. There's some coaches that don't. That's another story. But it just comes down to reps with everything. It comes down to reps with getting better at your craft. Just because I graduated from the program, I didn't know everything. I've learned a ton since I've graduated that I didn't learn in there. But I had a great foundation to start with, and that's where a lot of people, or they don't have a great foundation.
Yeah.
And you had a background with football, so you already you knew a lot of things. You knew probably, good technique with all your big moves and all that. So
I had some good coaches that, and I'm glad I started off that, I kind of watch you guys in the gym, and it's like, I like that, like how, and I watch what you do, and like how technical it is, and how I'm a form Nazi. I like everything done right. You know what I mean? And then we're not going to do anything else until we get this right. We're not going to add any more weight until we get that right. And so that's the only thing I wish with my program is that, because it was kind of so quick with it. But I was like, I love watching y'all's class. I love what doing you do, because it goes over, and then I love y'all hitting the floor, and then kind of I love everybody, and I love everybody with books. You see me with my book. I'm always about the book. Like sometimes I'm a dinosaur. I like to keep writing, tracking things down by paper, but the form is everything, because we see everybody in this industry, and I never like to down anybody in this fitness.
Sure.
Never down anybody in your business, but in terms of but we all, if you're in profession, just like an athlete will see another athlete, and they're kind of critiquing and looking, and we're looking at each other, and we're all being tested, and we're all, but it's like, maybe they shouldn't do that, or you see something you don't like that you wouldn't let slide, or they see something in you they don't like, but it's just I just like the way y'all approached, because I that was like a missing piece of it when I did mine, but then I had to learn mine later down there on the job. And
but you already had a good foundation.
I already going, and but just like if I wasn't already doing it, and I was just kind of like starting off fresh, I was like, that's the way I would want to learn it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's the only reason why I went to school. I
still want to kind of jump in. I want to jump in y'all's class sometimes.
You can come on anytime.
I was like, I want to kind of just listen in because you never learn.
Come on in anytime, man.
You never stop learning, so I just want to jump in there sometimes.
Anytime, come on in.
Yeah.
So you played football. Let's talk about that. You played for. I'm a Husky fan.
A little bit. I played a little bit.
I'm a Husky fan. I just found out you're a Washington State Cougar.
Right? I was about to walk out, but
yeah, no.
shut the door. Sorry.
I told you I'm an ASU fan now because I've lived here longer than I lived in Washington State.
I know. I'm about to be there too pretty soon.
Yeah. So you played for Washington State.
Yeah.
You were a linebacker?
Yep. I played at Washington State. I came in the class of 2005. I played linebacker all through high school, and and they put me at middle linebacker at Washington State. I started all 4 years after the third game of my freshman year. Then I started because I really showed up to that school because we had the best linebacker in the conference. His name was what's his name? Oh my God, I forgot it. Damn, it's gonna kick. His name was Derek. Dirt. Sorry,
Dirk.
Dirt. And so like he's gonna kill me if he ever listens to this podcast. Like, you forgot my name, but and he was like the best conference. He was the best linebacker in the conference, and I was just like, I want to go learn from him. You know what I mean? Because I said he's gonna be the first. He's gonna be probably the first pick or in the draft, first linebacker to go in the draft,
right? Or
he's gonna be definitely first. Or he's gonna be one of the first linebackers. And I was like, okay, I want to learn from that because that's where I want to go. You know,
right?
And he blew his knee out against Oregon State. I remember it was raining. That's why I think I kind of hate. That's why I hate the rain right now. You know, I don't like that cold rain.
We get like 4 days of rain here.
Man, I know. But when we get it, like I appreciate it now, but it still brings back to that day because I was like, I came in a second string, and Coach Lowe, you know, he's like Coach Burnett I told you about. He doesn't screw around. He's like, I want to add this to the story and hopefully don't lose track. But he shows up at my house. And the reason why I went to him on my visit, because he's like, my dad's like, well, I want him to graduate because he knew, like my dad, like I struggled with school. I moved so much growing up. And, you know, I was in SAT. Well, that's a whole different story. I took it 9 times, but that's a different story. But I got in there.
Good.
And
reps.
Yeah, reps. That's what I'm talking about. I said that on the last podcast. I was like, you know, it's like reps. Eventually, you got to just get better. But he called it, and my dad's like, I want to graduate. He's like, I'll make sure his sorry ass graduate. You guarantee that shit. He was old school, straight to the point. And I was like, that's where I'm going. And so, but now, backtracking, going back to the subject. I lost track. What were we talking about?
Dirk blew out his knee.
Oh yeah, he blew out his knee. It was a rainy day against Oregon State. It was raining, and I was like, you know, I was on all the special teams. And I'm thinking,
it in Oregon?
It was in Oregon. Yeah.
Of course.
The beer, you know that stadium, and like it's just loud and great. And so, and I was just sitting there and just la. I was on all the special teams, and I was a backup, so I never really played in the game. You know, I was just la, and all of a sudden, everybody's like, Trent, get ready. I was like, what happened? You know, kind of like you ever seen that scene in Any Given Sunday? And like, and Willie Billiam gets in. He's like got Cheetos and he's reading a newspaper. That was me. And I'm going there.
Were you eating Cheetos?
I wasn't eating Cheetos. I was eating Doritos. Right?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I was sipping on some Gatorade and I was just looking at the girls in the crowd, trying to like flirt. Like, man, these girls are cute.
Yeah.
And they're like, Trent, you're in. And I was like, what happened? And I see like carrying dirt. I was like, oh my God. I'm like sitting there. And it's sort of the outside, like they're all like, they're a year above me. And they're just like, and these look like grown. These are grown men. Yeah, you know, I'm a kid. You know, and I was a big guy from Texas. You know what I mean? But these are men.
Right.
And I'm gonna just sit there, just like my eyes are this big. They tell me to play. I'm like, okay. And I'm just sitting there like this. I'm pretty sure the quarterback saw me. He's like, yeah, we're going right there. And sure enough, they ran it right down me.
You remember the first play?
Blew my ass over. But I think I was just like, but it was just, but that's how I got my. But after that, you know, at the very next play, I got a tackle for loss. And I had a pretty good game for being a freshman and being scared out of my mind. I had a couple. I think I ended up with like 7 or 8 tackles. I need to look up the record on that first game. But I did a pretty good game for not knowing I was going to go in as a freshman. And I was like, I could do this. You know, into my mind after I got done having a heart attack. And so then after that, I started for the rest of the year because he was done for the season until the very last game. But I could, like, every game I got better. And then I did well, second leading on the team for tackles, and I made a freshman All-American team.
Nice.
And so I was like, this is fucking cool.
Yeah.
But it was just, that's how I got started playing there. And then I ended up signing free agency to Washington Redskins, which is now Washington Commanders now.
Right.
got cut, and then came back, redid my pro day, and then got picked up by Canadian League, and I went and played Calgary, which that was a lot of fun.
What's the name of that team? Calgary what?
Calgary Stampede.
That's right.
And so I was out there in, was it Alberta? Yeah, that's Alberta. Calgary's in Alberta, right?
How long did you play for Washington Redskins?
Oh, it was in and out. I got cut in camp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was between. It was like they had brought in so many. They brought in so many like linebackers. That was the year they drafted Brian Arakpo and a guy from TCU, and that was a time when London Fletcher was playing. Like I
remember those days.
And there's a story with London Fletcher. It was like he's sitting there like So once again, I'm sitting there just nervous. Like I think my leg wouldn't stop shaking. Usually they have like the like the rookie meetings and stuff like that, and then the vets don't come in until like later in the week, and they did it all together. And so like I'm sitting in, this guy sitting there, all the guys, they're wilding out and just kind of, this is the same as we will be in senior at Washington State, and the freshmen are coming looking like nervous and stuff. And so I was just in there just wilding out, having a good time. And I'm just sitting there just having a panic attack and shaking, like, okay, I got this. And then London Fletcher's just sitting there trying to talk to me. We're sitting in the meetings. He's just trying to talk to me, and I didn't want to talk to him. I was like, no, I want to focus. He's just literally like, he's a good guy. He's a real guy. He's just sitting there just trying to like talk to me, what position I play. And I was like, I don't know. Because I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to be inside or outside. Right. And he's like, you don't know what position you play? And I was just like, oh, I sound like an idiot. But I was like, I play linebacker, but I'm thinking like, okay, he's just trying to, because I'm in my head, he's like, okay, everybody's trying to take your position.
Yeah, he's sizing you up.
He's trying,
like,
he's trying to size me up.
Me?
But he was like legit. I mean, he's an old Hall of Famer, like, he's just trying to like calm me down, and just make small talk. That's how good of a guy. That's why he's always like, he's just one of the best guys there. Yeah. In terms of like, he was just want to help, like, calm me down, and get to know me. Yeah. And I'm just thinking, this guy wants, he wants to try to, like size me up. Right. And so, but then like, nerves got to me a little bit, and then they moved me outside, which that was a big like, okay, I'm nervous. It's a lot different position than being an inside. My coach said, you're a whore for the ball. That's what he told me. He's like, you just a whore for the ball, because I love to go make the tackle. But when you play outside, it's all about you're containing, you're on backside in case the play cuts back and stuff. And I just want to run across the field and make a tackle. You know what I mean? But so I ended up getting cut, but I learned experience. But then I went to go play Canadian League, and that was pretty fun because they moved back inside. Now I'm just in my natural state. Like, right. Okay, now I can just go do what I do. Go be a whore. Go be a ball whore. Yeah. And then I did that for a year, and then I came back, played some Marine League out in Washington, and then after that, hung up my pads and just caught it good. I don't think I was done yet, but at the same time, I think it was one of those things like, okay, how many teams am I going to get cut before I realize this, I'm chasing a dream, which I think if you keep going and keep pursuing, I think I would have been on 5. I think I would be just fine, but
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe intuition. You're like, okay.
In my mind, but everything happens for a rereason. God makes no mistakes, and so it brought me to this, which I've been doing for 11 years, and I love it. There's there's down times, and there's up times, and then there's good, there's bad. But the people that I met and the places that I've gone from doing this profession, I wouldn't change it for anything. Yeah. I get to go to work every day in shorts. Yeah. And
your body's probably in better shape too.
Oh man, I'm a lot stronger now than I ever was playing ball. Yeah. Like, and I'm not banged up and everything. Right. And I was like, this is weird. I wish, and I really wish that I knew, I knew like anatomy. And I really wish that I knew nutrition the way I do now back in the play. Like, I'm eating pizza before a game. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know nothing. I was just college.
Yeah. You're young. You can get away with that.
And I just think back, and that's why they invest. I mean, like, was at University of Texas. I mean, it's the highest paid, or now I think it might be, is it LSU or is it Auburn? But the highest paid strength conditioning coach. You know what I mean? But it's such a big factor. We had a great coach. He was actually part of the Hall of Fame. Our strength conditioner, his name's Rob Obiak, but he. But it's such a big thing, definitely with these kids. That's when I started training a lot of like high school athletes when I came out here. But it's just like nutrition, and it's such a big deal.
It's huge.
But personal training is like, it can sometimes be, at least, I'm not sure if everybody feels like this way, but this is from my personal experience. Sometimes personal trainers can sometimes get little like, or don't tell me what to do, or don't teach me.
I know it all.
Yeah, no. If like we're competing against each other, we're not competing against each other. You know what I mean? It's like it takes a team to create champions. It takes a family. It takes a family to raise a child. Yep. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you just keep bouncing ideas with each other. Me and what's his name, we were talking in the gym today. Like, we're gonna start having like these weekly meetings and stuff, and just kind of like feed off each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he was getting the same vibe too. It's like, I feel like everybody like doesn't want to help each other. Let's help each other out. Like, you might have an idea, a good idea that I might, that I want to use, and then I got some ideas that maybe like, you might, or you might want to use, so just help each other, and that's what we did that's what our little clip was in 24. We bounced ideas off each other and made each other better.
Yeah, we did the same thing, which I thought was cool because we're not all competition.
No, it's
like you said, it takes a family.
It's like we're not competing. We're not trying to take. I'm not trying to take your clients. We're trying to help. We're trying to help each other. But also because the same way you receive, you got to make sure you send the message correctly too as well. Don't be like, oh, you're doing that wrong. Maybe like, hey, maybe like so and so. Like, hey, would you ever thought about doing it this way? You know what I mean? No, okay, all right, yeah, well, whatever. No, all right, no offense. Come like, but it just
some people
it goes
receptive.
both ways. It goes both ways. Yeah, but. It's just, just got to help each other, feed off each other. But at TG, I think there's some of the greatest trainers I've ever seen at TG. You know what I mean?
There's incredible coaches there.
Incredible. Yeah. And so, like, I'm not prideful at all. If I don't understand something, I ask somebody who does, and I'll do it right in front of my client. You know what I mean? And my client doesn't think less of me. They don't think like, oh, maybe I'm training with the wrong trainer. It's just, but what my clients do know is that if whatever. I'm going to do my best to teach you everything I do know, and what I don't know, I'm going to find the answer for you. Yeah. And that's what, they're paying me for. It's like, okay, like instead of them trying to do their own self-research or them trying to ask, and it's like, I can go ask sources that I know that's going to know this answer. You know what I mean? It's not going to, and I'm not going to, say that I came up with it. Oh, yeah. This is how you fix that. Okay. Yep. I get, I was like, yeah, I asked another professional, and this is what he gave me. And so, trying to like give them the credibility because they earned it, but then one day someone's going to ask me that question. I'm going to tell them like, oh yeah, it is. And they're going to be like, you can give me the credit or not. It doesn't matter. But the point being is like, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask help if, whatever I don't know, let me get back to you next week and I'm going to give you an answer to that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. I think that's I think we get sometimes trying to get so caught up like,
I need to know all the answers.
Yeah, or I need to know it all.
Now you'll make something up.
You're lying. Now you're disadvantaged to your client because now you're selling them smoke. You're selling them bullshit.
Yep.
But that's what I think.
What was the hardest team you played when you were with Washington State? What's the most memorable game?
Let's see. All right, I got three. I got one that I felt the most pain. I got one that I got embarrassed the most. And then I got one that I always remember. It was just the hottest game of my life.
It had to have been here.
It was here. I was about to die. I didn't think it was like December, no, it wasn't December. It was one of the last, second to last. It was November, I think, right?
November,
and it was just so freaking hot. Like we had like probably 2 feet of snow in Washington. Yeah, and I remember
80 something here.
Yeah, before we got here, we practiced in a bubble. We would normally practice in a bubble unless we're playing like a team that's in up north, and man, and they turned on. I think they only turned it to like 65. It wasn't that hot, but we were like dying in there, and it was like, okay, we're fine. And then we got there, it was like 85. It was something crazy. I was just like, we had like you can see on the devil's side, they're just chilling, hanging out. They're fine. They're enjoying it. They're like, this is good weather right now. Yeah. They're feeling good. And we got our freaking misters, and we got freaking towels. They brought special like coolers. They brought like 12 coolers with like towels, ice towels in it. Yeah. And they're just sitting there, just drenching. We're just dying. They got IVs pumping on us and stuff. We're like, and they're just chilling. So that was the hottest game. The most embarrassing game is whenever.
Wait, who won that game?
Oh, Arizona won.
Oh boy, sorry.
I was like, right. Yeah, luck. It was the script. The script was wrong.
Okay. Yours or ASU's?
I don't know. Whoever wrote the script, they messed up. We're supposed to win that game. But the most embarrassing game is when I played USC, and a guy you might be familiar with. I don't know if you might know. His name's Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
And he almost made me quit football.
Did he run you over?
He didn't run me over. Well, first, okay, he went on a fast sweep to the outside, just a simple pitch and run. You know what I mean? Just let him use the afterburners, and he ran left. I remember I called strong left. So I moved my guys to the left, my linemen to the left, so I can play backside and just shoot the gap. And they went exactly the way I predicted to be. Okay, so boom, they did a pitch, and I already have like a kind of like a head start. I got a guy, I got my DM playing containment, so I can just shoot and don't have to worry about nothing. And I'm just going. I already kind of got like a head start on him because I see where he's going. He's still got to come up, and I'm going, but he's still moving, still forward. I was like, and he beats our outside containment, and then he beats me, and then I just got a little dove and hit nothing but air. But then he ran it up for a touchdown. Then the same thing happens. I call strong left.
The same game?
Same game, same play, next series. After we get the ball, we're back on defense. I shift the line left. He's running that way. Not this today. Boom, 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 we're ready. He beats me to the outside. Our outside containment does his job, brings his ass back in. He, does his little plant, comes back this way. And so he beats me to the outside. I had a head start. He beat me there. Containment did his job. He cut back the other way. I'm already like 5 yards ahead of him. I know I got the people coming through. The wheel's gonna come down and collapse it, and I'm gonna play outside containment. So I gotta get outside. Boom, boom, come back the other way. And then he's coming, and then we're at the same, and then he beats me to the other sideline and cuts upfield. I was like, motherfucker. That almost made me quit. And then finally, they start running up the middle. Boom, hit him. We're on the goal line, smacked him. The ball fumbles forward into the end zone, and they jump off for a touchdown. So when Reggie Bush fumbles, he still scores. I almost quit football that day.
How bad was that score?
I don't want to. We should look it up. It was probably like 50-something to 10 prior. It was something let's just say we weren't talking on
That was
the
a good USC team.
We weren't talking on it. That was a good.
Was Matt Leinart the quarterback then?
That time, that was Matt Lerner, Reggie Bush, Glendale White.
Ooh,
man.
That was a tough team.
They are stacked.
Yep.
The whole offensive line went first round, I'm pretty sure.
Pull up that video of Trent after getting beat and getting an interview.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull that one up.
I want to see this.
This one?
Is this it? Yeah, so you gotta roll. Yeah, play from the beginning.
So set this up real quick before Josh. So this is.
Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah. You guys do it? Or
set it up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is an interview. I never did interviews. I was known for never doing interviews. I don't like doing it. I didn't like talking about the game. I didn't like talking about myself. I was definitely more humble back then. I was like, I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about the team. You know what I mean? And so finally, after starting for 4 years and everything like that, they're like, you're captain of this team. You've been captain 2 years. Like, you need to say something. You know what I mean? We can't get nothing out of you. Say something. You know what I mean? So and then the one time that they forced me to do an interview, we just got, our asses handed to us real bad. Like,
you were in a great mood.
Embarrassingly bad. And so they ran.
That's pretty common.
And we were looking really bad because they're like, oh, okay. Y'all want to walk? And they just, in the film, and they just showing everybody doing everything wrong, and now they're giving up.
Right.
So they just ran us to, like, I was like, some of us saw Jesus, some of us didn't. So, this is the hardest way I ever, punished us.
Washington State is known as quarterback U. We all know that. But linebackers have been pretty good over the last decade or so. Mark Fields, Ron Childs, Anthony McClanahan, Will Durting, just to name a few. Kayla Anderson introduces us to Greg Trent. Another name will add to that great list.
He's called the man in the middle and one of the most intimidating players in the Pac-10. Okay, so maybe WSB linebacker Greg Trent isn't as rough and tough off the field, but that doesn't matter. His dedication and determination on the field is solid.
I just learned that, you just gotta play through the adversity. A lot of stuff is gonna change. Just don't let it change you. Just gotta relate to it and kind of just blend in.
I've only been around Greg for less than a year now, but since we first got him and where he's at now, it's probably night and day. Not so much from his intensity or his ability to play the game, but just his knowledge and his comfort level. He's always had great leadership skills. He's always done a good job talking to the players.
And when Greg talks, you can expect his teammates to listen. He's one of the most vocal leaders on the team. Greg says that comes from idolizing a certain someone.
My idols is Ray Lewis and all of them, and they always so intense on the field, so I always try to relate to them, just watching them growing up.
One of Greg's goals this year is to surpass his total amount of tackles last year at 89. This year, he's on track with 46 so far. with 6 games remaining on the schedule.
Did you beat it?
Huh?
Did you beat it?
I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. I ended up being like the 7th or 6th, and then now some younger cats came in, and I was 6th of all time leading tackles. I think I had like I don't know, it was like 383 or something like that, and then you might know him, Deion Buchanan, first round pick for Cardinals a couple of years ago.
Yep.
He beat my record, and it dropped me down to 7. And then another guy, another linebacker, came in and beat that one, and so then I dropped down to like 8th of all time. But because y'all just set the bar, and then they let these young cats come in and take care of it.
They have something to gun for.
I found the picture.
Did you?
There you go. So that was with play against Beast Mode. Like I got to dock him a couple times. I got some good hits.
Pullman's cold. Pullman's cold, man.
Yeah.
So you going from Texas to Pullman?
I know. I had got my first college D1 offer was to Wisconsin right after the end of my junior season. Like that's when they could first talk to you at the end of your junior season game, the last one. Then they could talk. So immediately, like after that last game, that following the game was on Friday. No, it was a playoff game. So the game was on a Saturday, and then that following Monday. University of Wisconsin O-line coach was there with an offer. Do you want to we want to offer you a full ride scholarship? And but he looked like, and he I was like, and I already considered it. Like in my head, I'm like, I don't even want to take the trip. I'm like, it's too cold. That's what I'm already saying. It's Wisconsin? No, way too cold. And then I ended up Washington anyway. But
probably colder than Pullman, man. Eastern Washington's cold.
Oh yeah, it's
and there's nothing out there.
Yeah, or Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Eastern. Pullman's
probably nothing out
probably
there.
cool. Yeah, because at least Wisconsin they got more. I don't know what Wisconsin. What is it?
They probably have more snow, but it's cold as hell. Yeah. Eastern Washington in the winter.
Yeah, but it is cold though.
Yeah,
we get more of the snow and the ice, and then Seattle just get more of the ice storms and stuff.
Right,
when it does get
rain.
cold.
Yeah, I remember.
But it's just funny. I ended up going to Washington. I'm like, well, all right. But it is a big jump. I was like, I never seen snow really.
Yeah,
I saw a little bit in Oklahoma, but. A lot of snow for us is like 2 inches.
Right.
The whole city,
the
whole town was shut down. Schools are closed. But then I went up to freaking Washington, and it'd be a foot of snow.
Still practicing.
Throw those chains on, throw those tires on. Everything's fine.
Everybody's prepared for that there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, it's been awesome having you on.
Yeah, I appreciate being on. It's pretty cool. It's
been a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Appreciate you making the time to come out here.
I know. I hope I would embarrass myself too.
No, not at all. So what's your prediction? Super Bowl.
Oh, I think the Chiefs are going to take it 27-15. Chiefs.
Niners 30-27.
I mean, I think I don't know. I think Mahomes might set a record touchdown break. I think Kelsey's going to. This is the one that puts him in the Hall of Fame. I think this is the one. He got his girl.
He's got his girl.
He got the Swiftie crew with him. I mean, who can touch us?
Yeah, he better perform.
They hate us.
There's rumors that he's going to propose at the game. We'll see.
I know. They said, the script. They said the script. The script he's supposed to do.
Hey, man, this is probably going to be the most viewed Super Bowl ever. 2 great teams, first of all. Yeah. We don't always get that, but these are 2 incredible teams.
And a repeat from 2020.
Yeah.
Right? It was 2020, I think. And so I was like, okay, let's go.
And that was without Swift. Just imagine how this is going to be.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, and then, and then, it's so much riding on the game because – one is in Vegas. I know so many people going to the game.
Yeah, that's gonna be a party, man.
I kept on hoping. I was trying to manifest this. I was like, someone's gonna ask me, like, "Hey, Greg,
get an extra ticket.
I know you're a super Chiefs fan, because I know you liked them, and I know you've been rooting for them even though they suck. I just wanted to just give you this ticket. It means nothing to me, but it means a lot to you. I keep wishing that's happening, and I thought it was gonna happen last year when they came here. I was like, it's gonna happen. Like, it's the perfect setup. I'm in the town. My home team, and I never thought I would live to see the Chiefs go Super Bowl. It's going to happen. Someone's going to be like, I got a free ticket, or I'm going to win it, like in some type of raffle.
Yeah.
Never happened. I was like, okay.
Hey, there's still time. The game doesn't start until Sunday.
All right. What I'm saying? Like, it might be like, I bought 5 tickets. Here's an extra one.
Yeah, you're manifesting it on this podcast right now. So
that's like a $30,000 manifest. Just let it cast out. You never know.
I think there's still tickets left on Ticketmaster.
I would just like to say
or
that
not even Ticketmaster.
It's better to give than receive. My Venmo account or my Instagram is done.
Send me a DM.
Send me your DM. No.
Well, cool, man. It's been fun. Appreciate you coming out.
I appreciate you.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Not everybody can say that they've been tackled by Marshawn Lynch.
I tackled him.
You tackled him first.
That time, at least. You know, like I said, I made his highlight film more than you made mine.
I'm going to start looking at this when I get home.
All I need is that one, though.
That's just one.
I just need that one. I got that bragging right.
Cool. Where can everybody, if somebody wants to work with you, where can they find you?
So if everybody want to work with me, like I've just opened up my schedule for more clients. I'm here at TG's off of Southern and Gilbert.
Yep.
Just come find me, or you can follow me on Instagram on my business account at Swole City Fit, and that's SWOLE
right there
CITY FIT. And yeah, just shoot me a text, drive me a DM, and then we'll get started.
Awesome, man.
After I ask
good coach. If you're looking for a good coach, there's one sitting right across from me. So awesome, man. Well, let's get out of here. It's been a good time.
All right.
I'll see you probably Monday when I'm back at the gym.
See you then.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Later, guys.
Take it easy.